wouldn't know the difference. Whatever you want, whatever you recommend.
I've never, actually, I shouldn't say never. I almost never do sci-fi, so it might be fun. I'd be interested.
You know what? And if people start hating it, we can always change it. So we
Sure.
can always be flexible. But the cool thing about Dune is there's actually a book called Burning Jihad, which is Burning Wheel for Dune. So
Oh,
exactly.
That's a little scary. Jihad.
So here's the thing about Dune, or about burning, world burning. You're gonna decide what the world is like. You're going to decide what kind of strife is happening, what kind of game you want to play in. So, like, if everything's like The Sound of Music, right? It's boring. Everything's happy. There are no issues. There's no role playing there. So you want a world that is in turmoil, right?
Mm.
Uh, you want your character starting out in strife and you want obstacles to overcome. And
hmm.
hopefully, your character's beliefs will flow from the strife that's happening around you, right?
Hmm.
For instance, if there's a world war going on, I'll just give an example. So let's say World War II is happening and you are in France and you're a member of the resistance. That's shitloads of strife right there, right? Uh,
Yeah.
that's the kind of place you want to be in. If you're in Italy in the 80s and nothing's happening, there's no game, so you want conflict. Now, my proposal, and the world burning should really flow from you guys, but I know that you're new to the game, so I'll help. You can always override what I'm saying, and I want you guys to help come up with ideas as well. But I'm thinking of a scenario where you are each from a different competitive house. You're way far from Arrakis. So you're each from a different competitive house, and for some reason, you all have to work together, but you all don't like each other because you're from competing houses, right? So the scenario might be this bigger house is moving into your sector, trying to dominate it and take over. And the only reason you guys are uniting is to prevent that.
Huh. Okay.
What do you think of that scenario?
Sounds reasonable.
I like it. Looking for this PDF that I have and I can't find it.
I can get everybody some docs, so I'll get you guys some docs offline. I can share that with you. You know what? Braden, what's your number? I'm going to add you into this chat group.
My phone number?
Yeah, just type it in the chat.
All right. I'll send it to you on Discord.
How do I add people into this group? Right click, show details, call video, add member. Here we go.
There you go. Yeah, I'm looking for this. I have it, I think, on my laptop. This is the thing, is I've oh, you know what? I think it's on my Google Drive. Let me go check there. It's a great document for just coming up with ideas.
Nice. Did you type your number into the chat?
I put it in Discord.
Oh, you put it in Discord.
Yep. Mm.
What is Discord?
Discord is like a voice chat program. It's we don't have to use it. We're just going to use
It's like Slack or Teams if you've ever used either of
Yeah,
those.
Microsoft Teams. That's what I use every day.
It's very similar. Maybe a few more bells and whistles, but same basic idea. It has text channels and voice channels and voice calling and everything.
Gotcha.
all right, let me see if I can make this happen.
All right.
Man, it's being a bitch. I don't know how to make it. What the hell's going on? Show more. All right, let me know. Did you get that?
Who are you talking to? Brady?
I'm not seeing anything.
I
Oh,
see.
wait.
I see a
Yes,
test.
I did. Yep.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, got you all in the group.
Good deal.
Okay, Jerry's going to be joining soon. Perfect. Perfect. While I'm at it, let me get you guys a link to a document or two. Okay, I'm pasting a link in the chat of some
All right.
docs. And one more. Let's see. Okay, you've got two books in there you should be able to check out in the chat.
Perfect.
We'll give Jerry a couple of minutes. He should be on shortly.
So how do you? It looks like just a web page. How would I? Do I just click the download button?
Yeah, there should be a download button.
And is that to Dropbox? Is that what you're signing into? It says log in or sign up. I don't
You
have.
don't have to, shouldn't have to sign up. You should be able to just download it. I don't know.
I think you have to sign in. I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is there another way to do this without having a full Dropbox?
You
Do you
can
have a
have a
Gmail
free
account?
account. I'm not sure though, because
Yeah,
I
I
have
got
an
Gmail.
account.
You can sign in with your Google account.
Oh,
Yeah, it'll just make one that way. That's what I just did.
okay. Let's try it.
Every single time. Ugh. I swear every time I try to sign in a drive-through RPG, I forget my password.
All right, we have a full house, 4 players. This is or 3 players. This is going to be good. 3 players is good.
All right.
So, Jerry, what we're talking about is we're doing session 0, which is all about world burning. And we kind of were talking about Dune, but I never heard back from you. I don't know if you're a fan of that. Are you familiar with the Dune movies and or books?
You're on mute if you're talking, Jerry.
He's off mute now, but maybe his sound isn't hooked up properly. Check 1, 2.
I can hear you. Jerry, I don't think he can hear. Maybe should type something in the chat if he can hear.
Yeah, I'll type it in the text too. Okay, good. We do not hear you. Usually on Zoom, if you hover over the microphone, which might be in the lower left corner, there's a little up arrow, and you should be able to manage your audio settings there.
Did he say he could hear us, but we can't hear him?
Nope.
No.
check your audio settings. So if you go down to where the mic is, there's like a mic icon. If you hover your arrow near the bottom left of the Zoom window, I'll share. Excuse me. I'll share my screen so you can see what I'm doing. Let's see. I will share. Let me see if I can share the actual Zoom window. Where is it? Oh, it doesn't actually let me share the Zoom window.
I think you got to start your video first, and then you can probably select which screen, maybe.
Well, you can't screen share your own screen, or else it just becomes screenception. You know,
You travel backwards in time, it breaks the universe.
opens a black hole.
Exactly.
He
Yeah,
said
we're not
in
doing
the
video either,
chat-
but do you have a mic on your laptop, right? Or PC, whatever it is?
Are you talking to him on your phone, Peter?
No. Oh, I did text him. He can hear us, so I don't think we need to.
Oh, he
He
just
said,
can't.
I hear you.
He can hear us. We can't hear him. Okay.
Yeah.
So somehow his mic is on mute or something.
You know what? I'll take a screenshot. Oh, it's not letting me. Great.
Well,
Let me see if I can do it this way.
if you do Windows key Shift and S, you can snapshot.
There we go. I just did a screenshot, and let me send it so we can see what I'm talking about.
Can you add his phone number here and he can just use his phone?
He could, yeah. Yeah, if you wanna try on your phone, you can do that. I can work with you at some later date to try to get your computer mic working. I would at least try, look at that screenshot I sent you and try to change your mic settings. It's probably something really simple. So if you see select a microphone, make sure your correct microphone is selected. Because doing it on his phone will be miserable. There he goes, it's connecting the audio. Did not connect to audio. You have a mic on your PC, right, Jerry?
He's gone.
Because if he doesn't have a mic on his computer, that would be the first thing. But most modern, if he's on a laptop, most modern laptops have mics. But if he's on a regular computer, he may not have a mic. And that'll be why. But I saw his audio trying to connect. I don't even think that'd be possible if he didn't have a mic.
Yeah, it could be any number of things.
Yeah. I would say the most likely thing is that he has Zoom is really stupid about selecting audio devices, and he probably has the mic pointing at his output speakers, so it doesn't work.
Yeah, could be
Zoom
that.
does that to me a lot. and I end up, or it turns my speakers, it points them at my mic.
That's funny. I didn't even know that it could like do that across like device types like that. It's crazy. Am I cutting out?
No.
Okay. It's just my it keeps showing that my voice is either on all the time or not on at all. It kind of seems random.
Oh yeah, input level. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jerry, any luck? Oh, I see him. G.R. Burke is connecting the audio. Did not connect to audio.
Damn. Dead in the water.
Yeah, you want to try your phone, bro? Maybe try that. That might be the easiest. Disconnect from this and try to dial in with your phone. Let me get you. There's some call information. Let me go to the meetings here. Meetings.
You know, the little more button at the bottom, it's got the three dots. If you click that, you can invite maybe a phone number.
I'm giving him a number to call. So there's a Houston number, 346. What else do I have? And here's the meeting ID and passcode. I'll put that. So if you look in the Zoom chat, all the info that you need should be there. I'll post it all in the regular chat too, or in the text thing. And I'll post a link there too.
The first boss fight, technology.
Exactly.
It always seems to be that way.
It is. Hey, but if technology worked perfectly, I would be unemployed.
True. True, true. Yeah, I just got speaking of which, I just got a job working remote for a company in town, so pretty excited about that.
Wow, that's great. Are you doing web development?
Not web development, but sort of adjacent. It's still a software as a service company. They're called Ntrax. They do medical, like hospital contract management as a service.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great, man. Congrats.
Thank you. I'm just happy to be working from home. The pay isn't fantastic, but all the extra time that I get, and also like my schedule is very flexible too, so I can spend more time doing other stuff and you know,
That's great.
yeah. So pretty nice. So Bruce, obviously we haven't met before. How do you guys know each other? And like, were you in the other game that you guys were doing, the GURPS?
No, we were in the army together.
Okay.
Yeah. I barely remember Peter. He was there before I got there to the 82nd Airborne, but I do remember him, and I remember Moss, and I see a couple of those pictures reminded me. Um, we didn't really hang out and stuff. I didn't really know him back then, but we reunited here we had a reunion not too long ago. A couple months ago,
Yeah.
and it
Is
was
that
good.
that video that you sent me, Peter?
That wasn't a jump video. I'm trying to get Bruce to come and jump with me.
My wife really wants to jump. Of course, she doesn't have any airborne training or anything, but she's all for it. So I got to figure out how to do something where she can strap onto someone's chest and jump.
A tandem, yeah.
Strap
Yeah.
her onto your
I've done a
chest, man.
tandem.
Shoot.
Ah, man, I haven't jumped in so long. Like I'm not scared, but like let her have fun. I watch the baby. We got a 2.5 year old. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Now, if we had a babysitter, I would jump with her. Not on me. I don't trust myself enough at this point. I haven't jumped in
Yeah.
God knows how many years.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
A tandem is so safe. Like when you do a tandem, you're going to be jumping with a dude who has like 4 or 5,000 jumps.
Yeah, exactly. You just sit back and relax, man.
I don't know if I could do that, but I've also never jumped out of an airplane before, so who knows how I would react.
Let me know if you want to try it, man. We'll go down and do it.
I'll think about it. I actually yeah. I'm trying to solve I have some kind of an issue with my heart maybe. So I'm trying to like, get that figured out. Maybe I'll do it after. I'm serious. I don't know exactly what's going on. I got like high blood pressure and my brother has some kind of genetic thing. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. I don't want to die of a heart attack. I feel like that would traumatize everybody involved. So I'll
Yeah,
wait.
especially when you're skydiving, you don't want to have a heart attack.
Are you younger than Peter
Yeah,
or
I'm 30.
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how old you are, Peter, but I'm 57 now. So you got to
Yeah,
be about the
I'm
same.
58,
Yeah.
going on 59. I'll be 59 in May.
Oh,
Dang.
okay. Around the corner.
I'm the
Jerry
young
was
buck.
in the army with us as well, but he was much later than us. So he's got to be like
Yeah.
53, 52, 53.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm the only one that hasn't been in the military, I guess.
I'm glad I went in the army, man. It rewarded me in so many ways. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, man.
Paid for my college. It
Yep.
was amazing.
I got lucky and kind of stayed in, did my 20 and, got that retirement as well as the college. I got my master's degree from all of that almost free, very little I paid for it.
Shit, what rank did you get out as?
I was a
E7?
E8. Yeah, I was master
Wow.
sergeant. Yeah. Didn't quite make the first sergeant duties, but I was master sergeant. I was my last duty station. I was down at Little Rock, Arkansas, Camp
Wow.
Robinson. I was down there full time Army with the Army National Guard. The Army National
Oh,
Guard
wow.
has a IT training center there in Little Rock.
So that
Camp.
counts as full time, right? That counts as
Yeah,
active.
yeah, yeah. About half my time, probably about 10 years, was doing that kind of stuff. Full time National Guard.
Damn.
Can't beat that.
How long have you been retired?
I retired 2008, and I went straight to work for DHS doing computer security stuff. And I was there for like 15 years. And then I just recently in December, I changed jobs to government publishing office. We do all the printing and stuff for the Senate and Congress.
Interesting.
Yeah. So,
But
but
you're still gonna get retirement from that as well, right?
yeah. I got 4.5 more years, and then that'll be another 20 years retirement.
Wow. You're gonna get
Shit.
2 retirement paychecks. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna be making good money for the Philippines because that's where I'm retiring 4 years in the Philippines. We already got
Oh,
our
the
house.
Philippines is so fucking cheap, dude.
I know it's
It's
great,
not as
man.
cheap as Argentina, but it's cheap.
Yeah,
Damn.
you guys are welcome to come anytime, man. We'll plan a trip or something. I'm
I
usually
will. There are
there.
some beautiful women in the Philippines,
Oh
man.
yeah, man. That's how I got married, man. This last time I was like, man, this is my last shot at this marriage thing, and it's been great. She's a lot younger than me, which makes it
Even better.
good. the only
Yeah.
thing she wanted a kid, and
Uh,
so we got a 2.5-year-old now. But I'm done now. No more kids. I'm done with all that. Um, it's nice, man. I mean, 57-year-old with a 2.5-year-old. But she does all the work. She takes care of the baby. Right now she's working, so I got the babies running around the house. Probably who knows what's going on upstairs right now, but I'll have to deal with that later.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, my uncle married a woman from Thailand, actually, sort of a similar
Yeah.
situation.
Yep. Thailand's nice. They got some nice women there too. Braden, I take it you're not married, single
No,
guy.
I have a girlfriend I've been with for a while though,
You consider yourself married, huh?
more or
Been that
less,
been
close
that
enough.
long.
Yeah, she's
I
Yeah.
did
great.
not do the marriage thing, man. I was too busy working on my companies, trying to make money.
I
Yeah.
hear you.
Well, it's got its ups and downs. I'll say that.
Oh, looks like
Oh,
Jerry made
we
it.
have a mute sign. That's better than it was before.
Jerry, you're on mute there at the
Yeah.
bottom left corner. There's a mute button.
So, have you played any games like this before, Bruce, or no?
No, no, this is
No.
my first go at it.
Oh boy.
I played Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
That's about as close, to any role playing games.
Okay.
But I've
Is
always
it
been interested. I've always wanted to, man. Just never really had the opportunity.
It's
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah, well, wait till
Yeah.
you guys play the Burning Wheel. I know for you, Braden, you're such an experienced role player. The Burning Wheel's gonna turn role playing on its head. You're gonna see it's so fucking cool, man. It's so different.
I've like watched some videos about it and flipped through my book, but I've been so busy trying to learn. Like I have like 3 different or 4 different systems that I'm still trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to play, and I've been running some one shots for them. So I haven't really done my due diligence with this one. But I will say, even though I've been like, it's definitely one of the more unique systems I've ever seen. I don't like I've played probably a dozen or more, and I don't think I've seen anything like this. So that might be a good thing or a bad thing for you, Bruce. You don't really have any preconceived notions to
Yeah.
kind of contend with, so you're not gonna know
Right.
how weird it is. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
it's just gonna be what it
Jerry,
is.
I think he went unmuted. Check 1, 2.
Nothing.
Jerry, you talking? We can't hear you.
Turn up your volume, maybe.
At least he made it off mute.
I was on caps lock by accident.
Happy accident there, honestly.
Don't
Can you
hold the
hear
phone
us?
under the cone of silence.
True. Yep. He's standing in the eye of the beholder. Get that kid bit. So, Peter, let me ask
Yeah.
you about this game. Like I said, I don't know, I've maybe watched 40 minutes worth of videos about it over the last year, maybe. Um,
Mhm.
how much combat is in this? Is it combat centric? Is it not? Is it
It's definitely not combat centric.
okay?
There are ways to deal with the combat. Combat
Okay.
is super, super dangerous.
Okay.
You can get really hurt. You can spend Artha to not die. So like let's say you get a mortal wound, you can spend and you are gonna die from it. You can spend Artha to get out of it. You're still gonna be have a bad consequence, but it won't be death. But yeah,
Hmm.
combat. is super dangerous. And there's two ways to do combat. There's the full-blown fight rules, which you
Mhm.
only use when a belief is on the line. Like, this is the dramatic point in the story that you are confronting the villain, or this is your thing that you've been striving to do. Then we break out the fight rules. But there's something else called the bloody verses, which is uh, fight rules light. And that's where it's more quick and dirty. And
Mm.
then there's something called just uh, fight. It's not the bloody verses and it's not the fight rules. It's just where it's not an important fight. Your beliefs aren't on the line, and you can do it in a single roll. And people can help you too.
Okay.
So those are the three ways to do fighting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the impression that I got from the stuff that I did look into is that it's very narrative focused, right? Very heavy narrative.
There are skills, and everything you have to do involves a skill. But the way it works that is not like traditional role playing is that you have a belief and you give me your intent and task. So your intent is, what do I want to have happen? And the task is how you're going to do it. And then I will tell you the consequences of failure.
Mm.
So you might, let's say you want to pick a lock, right?
Right.
Which is, normally if it's trivial and not important, we just let you do it. You don't even make a roll. But let's say you want to pick a lock and it is aligning with one of your beliefs, right? So you're going to tell me your intent is you want to get into the room, or, you want to get into the building, whatever. So you're going to pick a lock. Now, I'm never going to say the consequences of failure will be that you don't pick the lock, and what do you do now? Because I'm never going to have the story stop like that, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick consequences of failure that will be the most dramatic and keep the story moving. So
Okay.
if you failed to pick the lock, you might still pick the lock, but that would be just when the guards spot you and they're, you know, converging on you.
Right.
Or you pick the lock and, everybody sees you doing it. And, the wanted posters tomorrow are going to have your picture all over as the person who picked the lock. And, the crown jewels that are missing must have been stolen by Braden's character.
Right. Yeah, I
So
like
those would
that.
be an example, but let me give you more concrete. So like normally, if you're going to pick a lock, I'd just say you do it because it's not important, right? But maybe it is important. So let's say you want to convince someone to help you. So you want to convince the church to help you in this one thing, and that's important. So one of the consequences of failure I might do is that the church hates you. When you ask for this, they're totally against it. And they actually are now working against you.
Hmm.
So you can definitely fail, but it's not gonna. The story's gonna drive forward. Uh,
Right.
so now you not only have you not convinced the church, they're now actively working against you.
Right. So you never hit a brick wall. It just changes the parameters kind of
That's
a
right.
situation.
And you are trying. You have multiple goals, and you are trying to reach your goals. And this is what flips its head from different role-playing systems. So I don't drive the story. You guys do by your beliefs. And I attempt to challenge your beliefs by throwing obstacles in your path. And I do that by consequences of failure.
Interesting.
Yeah. A consequence of failure might not even happen immediately. So you might pick the lock and think that it's okay, but I told you the consequences of failure are that the people in the upstairs window saw you and they got a great description of you. And tomorrow, your face is going to be on every wanted poster in the city.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah. So what we're all trying to do now, you characters can work with each other, but you can also work against each other. So if let's say you guys are from different houses in Dune, and this guy's intent and task is going to be so good for him that his house is going to gain an edge on you, you might work against him. And you can do that when he makes his roll. You can put in a die that says you're working against him. Now you have to tell me how. You have to
Right.
say, hey, I'm going to speak up in this
How?
conversation. Oh, hey,
We
Jerry,
got
we
him.
can hear you.
Hey, risen from the dead, gentlemen.
Welcome.
Thank
Have you
you.
been
I didn't mean to
hearing-
interrupt you, but if it's not too late to join you guys, I'd love to join.
Have you been able to hear what we've been saying?
Every word, everything. I've been listening the whole while I've been trying to, yes, the whole thing. Thank you. Lock pick.
Perfect.
Picking the lock of the door. Got it.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yep.
Now, let me ask you, we were going to record this and throw it on YouTube. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because if you weren't, I'd stop the recording. It's all good. We could still play. I just wouldn't want to put
We're
it up
good.
without. So
Absolutely
here's the
not.
deal. Have you seen the movies Dune or read the books? And is that something you're interested in?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Perfect. Awesome. So now we're world burning, and what we have to do is we have to come up with a scenario that's going to have a lot of conflict in it. So I proposed an idea, which is that you guys are all from different minor houses and you all hate each other, but you have to work together because this larger house is coming into your sector and trying to muscle in on your businesses. And, they're bringing in military assets. They're just being dicks about it. And you guys are forced to work together. What do you think about that scenario?
That sounds great. I've already got an idea how to handle it too.
Now, if we're in the Dune world, what do you guys see yourself? What kind of character? There are mentats. You could be a diplomat. You could be a noble from the house. You could be an assassin. You could be some kind of trusted right-hand man. It's totally up to you guys. What kind of profession do you see yourself doing?
Good question. I'm going to roll some dice to figure this out myself.
I think I'm going to play a character opposite of what I normally play to sort of stretch myself a little bit.
Jared?
Yeah,
You could also
I
play
normally,
a Bene Gesserit witch. So if you wanted to play a female character, you could play a Bene Gesserit witch. There's a lot of options. But go ahead.
I usually do that. I usually do that at Halloween. That's so 1984. I think I'll play a mentat. It's unusual. I usually play the tank, the bruiser, the guy who's fighting with the sword, going in an opposite direction, trying to play somebody who's an intellectual and a counselor and a strategist. That might be a little bit more fun to stretch myself in a different direction.
Oh, dude, you know what? A men's hat would be so fucking powerful in the Burning Wheel. That's a great choice. You
It is.
can,
They're
in the
scheming,
Burning Wheel,
manipulating.
you can manipulate people with the power of persuasion and social skills. So you can
That's true.
definitely manipulate people, and that's an important part of the game. It can be.
Yeah, they're like the consigliere of the mafia families. They're the ones who, help with the strategy and advise the Don and whatnot. I mean, they're very
Yep.
slippery.
Yep. Bruce, do you have any ideas in mind? Or do you need help? If you're not too familiar with the Dune world, do you want us to go over the different character types?
Well, I mean, if Braden doesn't want to do the main one, of course, Paul, what is it, Trades?
Atreides?
Yeah, I mean, that's very basic. I'm very familiar with that piece of it. I'm sure Braden want to be the bad guys.
Who needs a breakdown? Does anyone need a breakdown? I know the book left and right. I can basically give you a summary of Dune in about 5 minutes. I can break it down pretty quick.
Could we pause that real quick? I want to go and grab. I don't know how I ended up here, but I don't have a sheet of paper in front of me. Let me go grab a piece of paper.
Yeah, you know
quick.
what? We'll take like a 5-minute piss break, coffee break.
Yeah,
That's fine.
good idea.
Fine. Hey, Peter,
Yeah.
it's a great picture of you, man, with the hat. That's a great picture.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, hopefully I can get thin enough to be the same as that picture again. I'm actually down 30 pounds, man.
That's great, brother. That's great. But it's a great looking picture.
Yeah, you know why? It hurts to be a fat paratrooper, man. I want to lose
That's fair.
20 more pounds before my jump into Europe. So that's my
I
goal.
listen. I don't know if I told you this. I was on Ozempic for a while. My doctor had me on Ozempic, but then my brother-in-law started complaining about bone pain. Apparently, it can leach your bones of strength, and it can waste away at your muscle. It's not always a surefire thing, but if it happens, I start getting backaches. Right around the time I went to visit you guys, I was having backaches, back problems because I started taking Ozempic, and I had to stop it, and the backaches went away. So I was losing weight for a while, but I had to stop taking. I'm going to have to find something else. And there's lots of stuff out there. So,
well, I'm not doing Ozempic. I'm doing something else. I forget the name of it.
That's cool.
But yeah, I am doing that. Plus, I'm not eating a lot. Hang on, I'm gonna grab some coffee. I'll be right back.
Yeah, coffee's my friend too. Coffee is my friend too. Pete, thanks for involving me in this, brother. I really appreciate it.
All right, I got the coffee going. Should be ready soon.
Good. Save me a cup.
I know. Tell me that.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even drink coffee before the army.
Me neither. Me neither. I thought coffee was addicts. Oh man, we've been dating ever since.
Yeah. I started drinking it in the field. Very funny story, man. I was my first field problem. I didn't set up my hooch, and I did all the stupid cherry shit, man. I got super soaking wet, and I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
freezing cold. And
That's
I
funny.
forget who it was, but Sergeant came up to me and he goes, "Give me your canteen cup." And then he came back and it was filled with coffee. And I said, "Oh, I don't drink coffee." He says, "I'm not asking you to drink coffee. I'm ordering you to drink coffee." And that when I was freezing cold, that hot coffee, man, saved my ass. I was like, "Oh shit." And that's when I became hooked.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Um, so who is it who's a little light on the Dune lore? Is it Bruce or Brandon?
I think it's more Bruce than Brandon, but we'll have to find out. But I'm
That's fine.
excited
To break
that
it down. Yeah, no problem. There's a lot of books. Herbert's stuff is so complex. His stuff is more intricate than George R. R. Martin, and the
oh
more
yeah,
intricate it is to get down. But he's a genius. I mean, he's a literary genius. But it's really dry. It's like Asimov. It's like
yeah.
Isaac Asimov. Very dry. It's very technical. I mean, these are men who would have been geniuses in architecture and physics and engineering. I mean, they're brilliant beyond, but they have a gift for writing, and not everybody does. I don't. I wish I did. My roommate's
Right.
very gifted in writing, but it's not for everybody. But I do appreciate good writing, and Dune it's a work of genius.
I think if you're a Mentat and Bruce can be a noble, what should Braden be?
I am
You think
back.
we could get him to play? Do you want to play a Bene Gesserit witch?
To me, I
Um,
mean, whatever third, I'll give him a Mentat because I've never done anything like that before. But I mean, honestly, I'll see the thing
No,
about the
I
Mentats
stick
is that
stick with the Mentat. I think that's a great idea. I think if you be the Mentat and then one other person is a noble, and then the last person could either be a soldier or a Bene Gesserit or could be anything
but
really. It's up
it's
to you
funny you
guys.
say that. So I have a bunch of D100 tables, and I rolled hero for my character identity just to see what would
works.
come up. So a soldier, maybe someone, I don't know, maybe not just like maybe some kind of a military commander that was renowned for his some kind of a strategic victory for his house.
Oh,
Some things you can
maybe
do.
what if you're like a soldier spy? Like your background is military intelligence, and although you're there to you're really there to plant devices, try whatever you can do to spy and gain intel on the enemy. That's your real goal. They think you're a diplomat, but you're not. You're a soldier spy.
Yeah, I'm good with that because I rolled three just to see what would come up, and one of the other ones I got was a bureaucrat. So a
Well,
spy
you
posing as
could,
a bureaucrat.
Brandon, you could consider playing in a warrior who's playing a soldier of fortune, or is assigned to a house, undercover as a soldier of fortune or whatever. You could be a spy, you could be an assassin. I mean, the warrior could be a cover for something else, or it could be just straight up soldier of fortune, or assigned to a house, or freedom fighter, or mercenary. You could do anything with it, really.
I think it might be more dramatic if he's tied to a house, because if he's a mercenary, then his loyalty is suspect. But if he's tied to a house, I think it'll be very interesting if you guys are all from different houses, kind of lightly working against each other. What do you guys think of that?
In
I
different
like it.
houses or in the house.
I'm thinking there are three houses, minor houses, and you guys are all kind of in the same but competing businesses, or maybe not. Maybe you're in different businesses. I don't know. You guys can decide. And some bigger house has come into your sector and is kind of starting to take over. They're, maybe mining moons that you guys normally mined and had no interference, and they're just in general getting in the fucking way. But your houses have told you, don't start a war. These guys are too powerful. We need to be subtle and work from within, destroy them from within, because if we start a war, we'll lose.
Well,
What do
there's
you guys
lots of ways you can do that. Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, as long as we have a general idea of our characters, we can get more definition on the characters as you play them. Like as we're going and we're developing and we're playing the game, we could spend a lot of time trying to nitpick about every little thing, but if we have a general idea and start playing, we can always, build off of whatever we're playing.
Yeah. Do you guys, Bruce, Braden, do you like that scenario?
Yeah, I do. I guess the next question for me becomes what resources are putting us at odds with each other? Like maybe we should establish that, or maybe a series of resources.
Yeah, you tell me. This
Okay.
is what world burning is about, and the burning wheel is very it gives the players lots of agency. So why don't you guys come up with some ideas? Hang on, I'm going to grab my coffee, but you guys can talk about it.
Well, like
I
I
mean, we
said,
can make it up. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I have, not that everything needs to come from this, but I have a list of like thousands of descriptors for everything you could possibly think of. And I'm going to do a lot of my generation from just rolling dice. And if you guys want me to do that for you, that's cool. I would share the dice.
No. I trust you. I trust you to. It's fine. If somebody's in charge of rolling for the odds, for the stats and whatnot, that's fine with me. I'm fine with it.
Well, it's not so
You know
much.
what, guys? We actually, when we're ready to roll up the characters, I have a tool that we can do it with. So
Awesome.
don't worry, you'll all be able to roll your own dice in the tool.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, all this is like descriptive words to kind of fuel the imagination. It's not like definitive rules. Like I said, I rolled, what like a hero background or a character background, I'm sorry, and there's like 100 of them that I could get. And then I mean there's everything else. Let me see here. Because I don't know, like I said, I've only ever watched the movies. I saw the first Dune movie that came out recently. I haven't seen the second one, and I also watched the original one from, was it the 80s or the late 70s?
You know
Sure,
what?
but
Let's
even if
let Jerry give the overview then. Bruce, are
Sure.
you back?
Yes.
Perfect.
All right, let me say this first. Just because I'm explaining this doesn't mean that we can't go outside the lines. We don't have to stick to. I think what Peter told me before is we can play with it, we can add to it. The story revolves around a spice called melange. So thousands of years in the future, humanity goes through different wars and whatnot. Robots rise up and try to take over. Then they're all destroyed. And the new electric Bible, a new Bible is written basically that says that man is not allowed to make an image of himself that is not man. So machines are outlawed, and the mentats, they start breeding for people with higher intellect, and they become living computers where they can do computations in their minds because people no longer use computers. At the same time, there's another branch of psi ability based on women's, secular teachings. It's sort of a monastery for women, and they work on their own psychic abilities as well. They're known as the Bene Gesserit. And they begin breeding for the perfection of humanity. As time goes by, more and more they're trying to breed for the perfect individual, the perfect human being. It's known as the Kwisatz Haderach, a universal being that's supposed to bring harmony and all power beneath his rule. So long story short, on a planet in the outskirts on a desert planet called Dune, also known as Arrakis. They find a spice that increased mental ability, physical longevity, perfect health. The spice is called melange, and it's just referred to as the spice. And the planet, the nickname for it is called Dune, which is the name of the story. There are 12 houses, 12 noble houses, and there is a ruling body. There is an emperor, the Padishah Emperor, Shaddam IV, and there are 12 houses vying for power underneath of him. The emperor keeps them fighting amongst themselves so that no one grows strong enough or great enough to topple him. He's over 200 years old, but he looks like a man of 50. So the spice is very powerful. It is not the only resource in the universe, but it is one of the most sought after. And that's essentially the basics of it. The mentats control mentality. They serve as ambassadors, and they handle statistics and probabilities. The Bene Gesserit are training women, and they're all seeking forms of power. They're all trying to use their abilities to gather power to themselves. Lastly, there's a group known as the Spacing Guild, and they've been using the spice for thousands of years. It's been mutating them. They use the spice to fold space itself. They're basically merchants, but it's transformed them, and they're no longer completely human. And that's essentially it. That's basically it. We can go from there.
Okay.
Yeah. There's also weird cloning shit going on with the Talaxalu, and so that's some minor stuff. But yeah, Jerry's got the gist of it. I'm thinking, what if the Harkonnens, like a small sub house of the Harkonnens, because we love to make them villains, are moving in on your territory.
Okay. They're
That's
easy
not
to
fine
hate.
to me. They are, but they're brutal. Every house is different. And, House Atreides is more fair-minded with their people, whereas the Harkonnens are brutal to their acolytes and their subjects. So, you make a mistake in House Atreides, they might dock your pay. And if it happens with House Harkonnen, they'll probably, cut off your leg.
Bruce, have you thought about what do you want to be?
I'm more of a House of Atreides. I'm a good guy. I'm not a Harkonnen for sure.
Do you want to be a noble, or what kind of role do you want to play?
I have no idea really. What do you mean? I don't even know what you mean really.
If you were a noble, you would be like a lord. You would be a boss of the house. You wouldn't be the head boss per se, but you might be like
The
general in the army. Might be a general of the army of the noble. You could be a military man.
Hey, well, that fits my.
Yeah, maybe you're a noble, but they put you in as a young officer so you could learn command. So maybe you're
There you
a young noble, you're just starting your way out, and they said, "Hey, you are a noble of the family, and we want you to go and figure out what's going out here."
Sounds good.
So why don't you guys
Congratulations, Bruce.
each tell me about your house? So you're going to be from a different house. What is your house like?
I'm gonna have to look up what they are, but let's see.
Mine is organized, I guess.
Cool. Yeah. Throw out words that represent your house and write it down. So organized for sure. That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm looking at the houses of Alansrad right now.
What else? What other words come to your mind, Bruce, when you think about the house you want to be from?
I can roll you some if you want.
Go for it.
All right. I'll give you two more. We have valuable and extravagant.
Okay, I'll take that.
Oh, nice. Maybe you're of the three houses, your house is the wealthiest. And that's why they sent you a noble, because you guys have so much money. They just throw money at every problem they run into.
Okay.
Maybe that's what they told you to do. Try to buy them off to get them out of your fucking area. Say, hey, we'll pay you a little tithe. You don't have to come here.
Okay.
And remember, you can change anything. If anything doesn't sound right or you want something different, you can change it.
Yeah, so the stuff that I've been rolling kind of behind the scenes here is really leaning toward my character being so like I said, the first thing I rolled was hero. And about the house, I got remarkable victory and leadership.
Oh, wow. Maybe his house may be the wealthiest, but your house has the best military might.
Yeah, I like that idea. And I think my character is some kind of a ranking officer. I don't know too much about the structure. I don't know exactly what the scope is of the things that we're going to be doing. So I don't know how high up the chain of command I should be.
You're going to tell us. You tell us what the scope is. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, guys, I have the houses up here. I can read them to you, and you can decide what house if you want. If you don't, that's fine.
Yeah, go for it.
Or you can just, so there's Altman. There's the House of Altman, and theirs is a fighting Falcon. There's Atreides. Theirs has a peace symbol. There's Carino. That is actually the Emperor's family, and they have a rampart lion on it. There's the Dombri. They have diamonds and crosses on their shield. There's the Ophelion. Again, diamonds and crosses. Mortani. They have a planet with stars. Kenrick. They have a spaceship with 3 circles. Harkonnen. They have a running bull. Fenric. It has griffins on both sides of the shield with a chain in the center. Azarian. It has 3 flaming stars. The Dombri. And let's see. I think that's all I can pull out.
You don't even have to be from one of those houses. You could make up your own house. So you guys have total control.
Yeah. And their backstory too. That's true. That's true.
Well,
I mean, you could be good. Your house could be bad. You could be bad. Your house could be good. You could be good, good, bad, bad, whatever.
I think I'm gonna just keep rolling up some random stuff. It's fertile ground for me. I'm having fun. So the next question for me is, what are the sources of wealth? Like what makes my noble house a noble house other than having a lot of manpower? Like what are they protecting? What are they controlling? So I'm going to see if I can come up with an answer for that.
Here's another thing too. What do you think your house's solution for the problem is? How is your house going to approach this problem? That could start your initial belief.
So for myself, I'll say this: I wish to be a mentat named Lom, Lomm, And the point of my house is to increase our power and to try to survive the greater houses by trying to pit them against one another so they leave me alone. I serve my Lord, whomever that may be, whatever the goals of my Lord are. I'm completely devoted to his vision of the future, the survival of the house. You know, that could be a bit about my character. I'm ruthless. I serve the needs of my house. I'm loyal to my Lord.
Nice. Now, what did you think your Lord has told you about how to get the Harkonnens out of your territory? How do you think
the best way would be to involve a similarly great house to interfere with them, maybe bring them in as a business partner so that they can fight against the Harkonnen, and I can be on the fence, right? But I want to keep my involvement with an adversary of theirs quiet, because it looks like someone else trying to muscle in where the Harkonnens are trying to go. So that way they're fighting each other, and whoever's left standing, if I'm strong enough, I take them out. But the idea is to play them against each other, you know, pit myself against any house I'm as strong as, but basically try to manipulate the houses greater than myself to survive when I can and to make mischief when I'm able.
I like that.
And Bruce, what's your house gonna do? How are your house gonna get rid of the Harkonnens or deal with them?
Well, I guess there's only one way to deal with bad people, and that's war, right?
Well, here's the thing, though. The Harkonnens are so powerful, it would be a war you would lose.
Right.
Or you would destroy each other, rather. You might be able to take them out, but you'd make yourself so weak that another house might be able to take you out. So you might want to consider other means, like, gathering an alliance about yourself, making yourself stronger with an alliance of different houses, or using trade routes to cut off their ability to supply themselves, to weaken them. You only fight as a last resort. I mean, certainly you go for broke if you have to, but there are other means to basically dissuade them from, if you're trying to keep them from the planet, if you're trying to keep them from taking over, if you're trying to keep them from taking over yours, then there are other ways to do it rather than go to war. Gathering an alliance of like-minded, people who just want to survive and benefit and get along and trade and whatnot. It's none of my business. It's just, it's a way to go.
Yeah. I'm more peaceful for sure. Try to pull us in as a team, I guess.
The only thing is, when we went to that World War I museum, you heard about how that war drug everybody into it. That First World War at the museum drug everyone into it. And if war is declared, it will pull everybody into it. And it may come to that. It may come to war, But there may be other means to, confound them and to thwart them. But certainly it's worth considering as a final option.
And Braden, what does your house want you to do?
So I rolled ruin and path. So to me that means I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do sort of like going after their supply lines, whatever. So whatever their path is, like whatever they're looking for and whatever resources they need to get to it, whether it be equipment for mining, or it might even be like whenever they finish getting the product, I can attack their whenever they're shipping it with their shipping routes. It's going to be kind of guerrilla warfare like that. I think we're going to avoid an open conflict.
So you're like going to be a saboteur.
Exactly. But
you're going to run sabotage operations.
Right. Economic sabotage, more specifically. And so with that, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not super familiar with Dune, so I do want to ask what, uh, like how common is like space battle? Are there like dogfights? Are we talking like Star Trek and Star Wars, or is it different than that?
No, I've never read about any kind of space war in Dune, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. The
Okay.
only combats I've read about are like planetary based. Now there are flying ships, but I haven't really read about space battles, but it doesn't mean we can't have them. If you guys say, I want some fucking space battles, we're gonna have some space battles.
Yeah, well, it is a sci-fi game. I would feel a little cheated if we didn't get something in space, but like I said, I
Sure.
don't know. I don't know if that really falls within the fiction. I'm
No,
okay. I
we'll
can
make
come up.
it work.
We're gonna play with it.
What was
Brayden,
that?
yeah,
We'll
we're
make
gonna play
it
with
work.
it. Go ahead and yeah, build on it. It's fine. We're all gonna be. We're not gonna be sticking to it, religiously. We're gonna build off of it just for fun. So
Okay. Um, well, it's not like, yeah, I don't mind having constraints like that. I can always kind of puzzle my way around them. That is kind of part of the fun. If dogfights, just to explore that idea, if dogfights aren't an option, what do you like? How would it make most sense? Does anybody have any input? How would it make most sense to disrupt supply lines? It would have to, like, presumably it would have to be at the point of departure or the point of arrival, right? If they're shipping things across
right,
star
you could
systems,
also
right?
you could also embargo fuel so that they couldn't make the trip themselves. You could embargo machine parts and
That's true.
the necessary machinery that's required. They would also require special passes to pass through certain territories, moving
That's,
back and
yeah.
forth.
I
So
like that
there's
idea.
lots of things. There's lots of ways to gum things up and slow it down. I mean, the
Yeah.
thing is if you're trying to dissuade somebody from something, you make them so miserable that it's not worth it, and they basically don't want to play in the sandbox anymore, and they just want to go home and cry. So the idea
And
is to make it
you
not worth
guys
it.
should probably have a belief about each other as well. So, like your character, Jerry, you don't want Bruce's character and Braden's character to completely succeed. You would love him to have his sabotage operations go wrong, and so you might have a belief about that, or you might have a belief about Bruce's family so wealthy, you're gonna say, hey, I'll do all the bribes for you, and you're gonna skim that pile. You might have some belief. And same thing with you guys. So Bruce, you might have a belief about how you're gonna weaken Braden's house, and Braden might have a belief about how he's gonna weaken Jerry's character's house, Lom's house. So you should all come up with that. Also, I would like you to tell me, who are your bosses? Who's the guys telling you what to do? Who are you reporting to? Tell me about that person.
Ask us one at a time because you don't want people speaking at sense. So directly ask each person that you want to describe their Peter.
Yeah.
So ask us individually. Otherwise, people are just going to start piping in and talking.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Bruce, then tell me about your boss.
Yeah, I thought I was the boss.
Well, everybody has a
You're
boss.
noble.
You're a young
Yeah,
lieutenant. You're not going to be the boss. You're going to have a boss. You're a
Alright.
noble, that's for sure.
I guess the only thing I can think of is, how the movie actually is, where you got Paul. I can see myself like as Paul, and his dad is the boss, the Duke.
That's so convenient, though. What if your boss hates you?
I like that idea. That's cool. Wants to see you fail.
Yeah.
Or sent you out to die.
Maybe it's your evil uncle who's looking to gain power in the house, and your family has been unfairly favoring you, and he's super jealous, and he wants
Or
to
you're the
see
next in
mission
line.
crush
Or
you.
you could be the next in line, and he's trying to get rid of you so that his own son can take over. You're the sole heir, you know, to the family or something, and then another family member is trying to take you out to remove you from the lineage. That'd be wild.
I am overwhelmed.
Sorry. Sorry.
Does that sound good or what? Does that sound interesting?
I don't know, man.
It
This is
sounds
my
like he wants
first
to play
time doing
straight.
this
Sounds like
stuff,
he wants
so
Great.
I just want to play, I guess. Yeah.
We'll keep it simple. We'll keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. More
Okay,
simple
'cause
for me, I guess. Yeah.
we want lots of drama. Drama is great in this game.
What could you tell me
Sure,
about
well,
space travel? Just to, you know, not to derail, but you know, to give Bruce a little bit of time to think about some things. How does space travel work in this world? Is it like, I'm sure they have like faster than light travel, I'm sure, but is it like
they
limited
fold
in any
space.
way?
Actually, so the spice allows them to perform calculations to fold space. It enhances your mental abilities. So it allows them to supercharge their minds temporarily and enter in coordinates to basically fold space. So their ships move well, but they fold space to go great distances. Like, you know, they've got sublight, they've got light speed, but to cross across the universe, they have to fold space. In order to do that, they generally use mind-enhancing drugs, the spice, to help them do it. But they have conventional, spaceships that run off fuel.
And the pilots are these highly evolved creatures. They're actually they swim in liquid. They can't move around on their own. And they are the creatures. They're ugly and disgusting. They are the creatures that fold space. So nobody can just say, "Oh, I'm going to be a pilot." No, these things are like bred over many, many years, and they're very, very specialized creatures. So you can't just get some dude who's going to say, "Hey, I'm going to jump on the ship and fold space." It won't work.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
the trading guild has a great deal of power because you can't get to Arrakis, you can't get to spice, you can't transport any goods within the universe without using them. So they have a tremendous monopoly on travel, which is huge. So they have a seat at the table, and at times they even challenge, you know, the houses of Alansrad. So they have a lot of pull.
And they're called the Space Guild.
Space Guild.
Very interesting.
It is.
So tell me about your house, Braden. How your boss? That's what I meant.
So let me think here. So if my character is some kind of a military leader, he would probably report to the head of the house. I think he would be somewhere. I can't. Again, I'm not quite sure the scope that we want to go with. I don't know if I should be one step below the head or two or three.
What's more interesting to you?
I think that my character would want to be boots on the ground sometimes, but not like all the time. You know, he's not like a grunt, but he doesn't just sit in an office either. I think he gets sent places every now and then and kind of oversees different things.
Okay.
But doesn't you know, go and, you know, shoot people with any amount of regularity. Not that he couldn't if he had to, but
what about your boss though? What's he like? Does he like you? Is he, how's that relationship? What's happening there?
Yeah, let me roll and find out. We got shallow and Vindictive. Good. So, yeah, I think my boss is, based on those ideas, I'm going to say young.
Okay.
I think that they are perhaps their father probably owned the house, or maybe it's a girl. Maybe it was her father that I don't know, died recently from something. Maybe I can establish
Are they
that.
competent or incompetent?
I think they're incompetent.
And they're maybe conflicting with you, always coming up with these ideas which you know are fucking terrible ideas, and you need to be diplomatic and try to convince them to do the right thing, and it's difficult.
I like it. Yeah, maybe the reason that she's vindictive is that when her father died and there was the transfer of power, the house was a little bit diminished at that time, and it was relatively recent. And I think that's where we could get the remarkable victory leadership that I got earlier for the sort of important thing about my house, where kind of despite all odds and despite lacking leadership, my character pulled off some kind of a victory, or the house itself did, and I played a part in it.
And maybe her father is forcing her to work with you because he knows that you'll do the right thing and she won't.
Or maybe he established that, because I think I like the idea that he died, but
Okay.
maybe he put me in a position of power, like you said, in
Maybe
order
that
to
was his
temper her.
dying wish, was that you run the military affairs.
I like that.
Yeah.
So her father died, and he put me in a position to kind of counterbalance her flaws and her ignorance, because he knew that he didn't do a very good job of imparting wisdom into her. And
Does
that's why she doesn't like
blame
me.
you for her father's death?
Good question. I think, again, I'm going to let the dice decide. So let's scroll up to this. I'm going to say it's somewhat likely. So let me roll on this table, if I can find it. Okay. We're going to say likely. We got 88. We're going to say chaos factor is here. So that's a yes.
Nice. That's so juicy.
Yep.
I love it.
Not strongly, but she does. There's a possibility that she would have blamed me a lot, but if I were to have crit on that, but I didn't. So she just thinks that I would something that I did led to him dying. Maybe I pulled some of our forces away to win that remarkable victory and left him exposed to some kind of an assassination attempt.
Nice. I love it. I love it. This is the burning wheel, gentlemen. World burning. All right, let's go to Jerry. Tell me about your boss.
My boss's name is Levon Altman. He is the head of his house. He is the only heir of his family. He is an old man now. When he was young, he took too much spice, had a bad reaction to it, and it rendered him sterile. So he has been trying to conceive an heir, and he ends up killing all of his wives in mad fits of rage whenever they can't conceive. My master won me in a game of chance when I was young, and I have served him ever since, despite his bouts of madness. But my master believes that larger amounts of spice will eventually cure him of his problem. But he is generally intelligent, but he has these moments of madness that seem to take over from time to time. So, while I'm serving my house, sometimes, I'm just trying to keep my lords from flying off the handle and setting fire to everything.
Nice, like the Mad King of France. Was it King Charles who was insane, who had bouts of insanity?
Yeah, yeah. So basically, the idea of Richard III, the idea of the guy who was, fixated on ruling and murdering everybody that got in his way. But the thing is that he loves power and he wants to grow stronger, but he's obsessed with having an heir, creating an heir, because he has no children, no siblings. He's the last of his line. So if he dies, his house dies with him.
Love it. So that may be maybe a sub quest for you, is that you're also trying to find him a fertile, nubile wife from a different house for him to marry, to have children.
Yeah, it could be that, or it could be finding a way to cure him of his madness, or it could be finding a way to cure him of his sterility. I mean, it could be all of those
you
things.
You guys are going to have 3 beliefs each. So you have room for multiple beliefs.
That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's where I stand with my character.
Tell us about your boss. Have you thought about it?
No. I'm not very creative.
Well, base him off somebody base him off someone you served with, base him off a lieutenant or a captain that you served with. You could just imprint a new name on someone you already knew,
or on a famous person.
Yeah, like a famous king, good or bad. Well, good in this case, good.
Probably better off doing like Braden and just rolling for it.
Yeah,
Sure.
we could do that. I'm trying to read this, and I'm doing a bad job of it, but
let me say this: as far as good guys go in the story, Leto Atreides was the nephew of the king, and the king was terrified that Leto was going to take over. Leto was honorable, and he was popular, and he was growing in power.
Yeah.
And the emperor wanted to destroy him because he was jealous of him. And the thing was that Leto didn't want the throne. He didn't. But because the king turned against him out of jealousy, Leto had no choice but to fight him. He would have been content with just ruling his people, ruling his house, keeping his place. But Shaddam IV was jealous of his nephew and plotted against him. It's like Harry Potter and Voldemort. I mean, if he had just left him alone, it would be no big deal. But because he went after him, it forced him to turn himself into a military genius and a leader. So it could be that your lord is reluctantly, he's trying to do the right thing. He's trying to keep the peace, but the pressure of politics is forcing him to fight when he'd rather just be left alone, if you'd like, for example.
And remember too that drama in this game is good. It's good to have drama. So the more dramatic, the better. The more unstable, crazy, dramatic, the more exciting the game's gonna be.
Sounds good to me.
okay.
I really like Bruce. I know you don't like it, but I like the fact that your uncle doesn't like you and he's your boss. I think that's it's gonna cause so much drama.
Trouble, you mean? You mean trouble. Yeah, Bruce, I mean, just think of some guy in the military that was your superior that had it out for you. It's easy peasy. Just use someone that couldn't stand you or was out to get you, and play it that way.
Sergeant Byrd, do you remember Sergeant Byrd? We used to call him Buzzard Beak because his nose was so big. He was such a terrible leader.
Can't say I do.
There we go.
But Bruce, are you good with the idea of I know you said no before, and I don't want to throw something on you. I just knowing the game, I think it's going to be exciting. Are you down for your boss not liking you, trying to destroy you, or you don't want that?
No, I mean, I don't care, man. This is my first venture into this, so whatever you recommend, I'm good with. You know.
Remember,
It's just
too,
like real
you
life,
can try
man.
to, you through your beliefs can try to turn the situation around. One of your beliefs could be, man, that motherfucker doesn't believe in me. I'm going to prove to him that he should trust me and work with me. That's a great belief.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think it should be the evil uncle man who's trying to destroy you. I think that's so cool. And, it's just a great scenario.
Okay.
Now, what is the resource that the Harkonnens are going for?
You could make it the fuel. You could make it that they produce an additive that's required for the fuel. Everyone has fuel, access to fuel, but they create something that stabilizes the fuel and, a MacGuffin, a little thing that's added that basically makes it better, that allows them to corner the market, because if you don't have gas.
Maybe it's a certain metal that when added to the fuel makes it 15% more efficient.
Or makes it burn hotter, or allows them to go further.
But
That's
it's
the way to
super
go.
rare, and the only place they're finding it in large quantities is this moon that you guys have all been mining. And you've been competing with each other too. You're all trying to maybe fuck up each other's minds and fuck with each other because you're all going after this resource. And then all of a sudden the Harkonnens come in and now they're running their mega mining operation, which is definitely going to threaten yours.
Can we
Now, are
take
they
that
doing
and
this illegally? I'm sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was going to say, could we turn that up a little bit and in terms of drama and say that there are multiple moons orbiting an uninhabitable planet or something crazy like that?
Sure.
Or we could say the planet is inhabitable and that we are all staged on the planet, but the mining operations take place on the moon, and that as the moons rotate around the planet, different opportunities arise for kind of sabotage. Kind of like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of a way to like take that idea and turn it up to 11. You know what I mean? Because I think it's a cool
I've got
idea.
a great idea. What if every period on the main moon for mining is that when the moon faces the planet, it gets blasted with radiation? So you've
Oh,
got to move around your shit and not be in the way of the radiation every 12 hours or whatever that period is.
I think that's cool.
How about this? This is just an idea. What if the Harkonnens, so everyone that mines they have to have a contract with the Emperor in order to have permission to mine anywhere. What if the Harkonnens are mining illegally? What if they forge documents and nobody knows that they don't have the right to be there? And the story can be about trying to expose that they're mining illegally. And if you don't expose it, because they're a more powerful house, but I mean, maybe it's legitimate and you're trying to force them out. Maybe it's illegitimate and you're trying to expose what they're doing.
How
And in
about
doing
you guys
so,
don't know, but there's a possibility that they're doing it illegally?
that's interesting. That's
I like
interesting. Yeah, it could go either way. But you want to find out either way, because if it's true, if it is illegal, then you've now found a way not just to get them off the moon, but also to put them in the crosshairs of the Emperor, which would get them off your back. they were mining illegally. If it's
Right.
true, and it might not be, it would force the emperor to step in and to hold them accountable.
Yeah, but
But you don't
it
know.
would have to be subtle, because if they ever caught your house trying to do that, they would destroy you.
Well, you're not trying to plant evidence, or maybe you are, but you're trying to expose them if they're guilty. On the other
I know,
hand,
but
if they're
if
not
they
guilty,
find out that you're trying to do that, they're gonna fuck you up.
that's
I'm
right.
saying you got to be subtle. It's so dangerous.
Well, there are times for subtlety, and like Bruce said, there are times to go to war too.
Right.
So if you could play it however you wanted to. I mean, you're the one that's going to set it up for us. But I mean, either it's legitimate or it's illegitimate. But there's drama either way.
Yeah,
Because
I just think if you have to be subtle, it's going to be more challenging for you.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And we want
But since we
challenge
don't
and
know either
drama.
way,
So,
since we don't
Bruce,
know
why
either
don't
way,
you? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, since we don't know either way, you're taking a chance either way, because either they're guilty and you're trying to expose them, right? Or they're not guilty and you're trying to expose them, and you create friction that way as well. So either way, you're going to create friction.
Yeah. So now I want to hear from you guys what you don't like about the other two people's houses. So let's start with Braden. Braden, what don't you like about Bruce's house, and what don't you like about Jerry's house?
Well, let's find out. See if we can come up with something interesting with the dice. That's not interesting. So the first one I got majestically lavish, which I think could apply to Bruce, right? I don't like his house was the one with all the wealth, right?
Yeah.
So I don't like their kind of lavish lifestyles that they lead, which to me I think would tell me something about my house, that they're sort of austere and like
You're
not
Spartan. Yeah.
right, yeah, not primitive, but yeah, very Spartan, very kind of ascetic, sort of a people, which kind of also definitely plays into the militaristic kind of thing. So I look down on them for their extravagance and their kind of
now, what did his house do to your house that really pissed you off?
Let me see. Where's a good table for that? I know there's one in here somewhere. So many tables. Here we go. We have destroy. That's a good word. And require. So they did something to destroy something that my house requires to do their thing. They did some sort of an act of sabotage against me, whether intentional or unintentional. Maybe it could have been a matter of statecraft as much as it could have been military. I guess I would leave that to Bruce. But yeah, whatever they did, it got between my house and whatever we need to continue our mining operations on the moon. And we'll say it happened in the recent past, say
And
5 to 10 years ago.
what are you going to do to make sure that never happens again?
Let me see. Good question. Let me write this down real quick.
Okay. While you're doing that, Jerry, what did Braden's house do to you that pissed you off?
It's easy. We were working on an endeavor. We were actually mining for materials on a planet. We handled they handled the mining process. We granted them the equipment. when the endeavor was over, the machines were destroyed. They had basically used the machines poorly and had destroyed them. They lost all their value, and they refused to compensate us for the cost of those machines out of their cut from the contract. And since that time, they've refused to compensate us for the use of the machines, which we provided. And so
You know what, though?
now there's bad blood between us.
I think it can be more juicy than that. I sense people died because of their indifference.
You know what? We could say that during an inspection, one of our minor nobles was visiting and was killed in an accident, and they refused to acknowledge or accept responsibility for it, and so now it's a matter of honor.
I like
Okay.
that.
Bruce, what has Jerry's house done to your house that really pissed you off?
Is this about the library books? Is it library books?
Roll the dice, I guess.
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's see.
That one could be interesting. Let's get a second result. No, not interesting. Oh, we got struggle and suffering.
Struggle and suffering.
Brutal. I'm sensing
Oh, what if
medical outbreak.
during one of his mad episodes, Jerry's Lord, Lom's Lord, killed your sister.
Ooh,
I like that.
I do too.
Raped and killed your sister. Raped and killed her.
Damn you,
Brutal.
Levant.
So it's personal.
I would say so.
That's right.
Personal for Jerry. I dig that.
Yep. Well, and how about this? How about I know about what my Lord did, and I'm trying to cover it up?
Good idea. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to protect him no matter what. Morality doesn't even come into it, unfortunately. My mom's not going to want.
Maybe you're trying to blame it on someone from Bruce's house. You're trying to falsely get the blame, so it's not even on your house.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But like they sent her like body back to be buried at home, and like a medical examination was done, and like they know for sure that would, like, for whatever reason, come up with some sci-fi reason why they could say definitively that that's not true, but they don't know necessarily who did it, but like you suspect, so you were told a lie, but just throwing that out there, possibility.
Absolutely.
Braden, what did Jerry's house do to you that pissed you off?
Let's find out.
I'm really sorry.
So what do you guys think? Are you liking what we're doing here?
Oh, yeah,
I'm having fun.
This is good. Yeah.
I love it. I think you guys are coming up with such an awesome scenario, man. I think it's going to be amazing.
Damn, I keep rolling duds. Not all of these are super useful for every scenario. That's a good word. Let's find out what the second one is. Ooh. How could we make that work? Let me think about that. Damn. No, we'll try another one. That's too hard. Also too hard.
And by the way, when we end the night, I want you guys to try to write down beliefs for your character based on these notes. They don't have to be perfect, but try to take notes on all the things that you know about your character, your boss, the scenario. And then I think we need to have another world burning session to finalize things.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
So
I agree.
I got Crisis and Time, which is a fun game, arcade cabinet if you've ever tried it.
I do. I have. It's good.
Yeah, Time Crisis. That's the shit. It's funny that I rolled that. But so I'm trying to think what's something that your house could have done which would have caused a crisis. I'm thinking it would have, in order for me to like really dislike your whole house, it would have had to be something that caused a lot of problems, and it would have had to be like a prolonged crisis that you could have done. So
what if
sure.
If it's a time crisis, what if your house took out a massive loan because you found a new mine on the planet and this house went there and fucking mined it before you could get to it, and now you have this massive loan and the repayments are coming due?
Oh, I like that. Okay.
And they did it through spycraft. Their spies were inside your house, figured out that you found this new thing. You took out the loan and they mined it right before you got to it just to put you in this fucked up scenario.
Yep.
Lom, you have a lot of work to do.
I'm cool with it. I'm fine with it. And actually, you should start referring to us by our names.
Perfect. Guys, I think we should stop here because it's 10:34, and I am going to be away next Thursday, but I will be available on the 25th. Can you guys meet again at 8 p.m. on the 25th?
Yeah, I should be able to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bruce,
If I
what do
can't
you
get
think?
my
I know this is your
working-
first time role playing. Did you enjoy this world burning session?
I mean, I enjoy just playing games in general, although we're not really playing, we're just kind of talking through it. You guys are very creative and obviously have some experience doing this stuff.
It'll rub off on you. It'll rub off on you.
Yeah, it's I will be there. I will be back on 2 Thursdays from now for sure.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, Bruce.
I love it. Guys,
Yeah,
of all the
Pete,
games, I was just going to
Go
say,
ahead.
of all the games I played, this scenario is just unbelievably fucking cool.
Yeah, I agree. This does seem pretty
Listen, Pete,
interesting.
I'm going to try to get my speakers squared away on so I can Zoom with you guys, but if I can't, then I'll do it through my phone so I can join you guys right away. I'm sorry about keeping you all waiting on me. I'll make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
all
you
good.
made such great contributions to the story, man. You are forgiven.
Braden, it was real nice meeting you, and Bruce, it was good to hear from you again, pal.
Yeah, man. Nice
Yes.
talking with you again.
Yeah, nice to meet you
Nice
as
to
well.
meet you, Braden.
All right, guys. And don't forget, write down all that we talked about soon so you don't.
Yeah, I've been writing it down as we go. And Bruce, let me just quickly say, because I can tell you're kind of like a fish out of water.
Oh yeah.
So a couple of things. One, this game is unlike. I played a lot of different role-playing games. This one is unlike any I've played before. So if you do find that you don't like it, and that's totally possible, and that's fine,
Do something.
Well, what I was going to say is there's a million other games that are nothing like this. So don't write off role-playing games altogether because there are hundreds. And this one, like I said, it might be the most unique that I've encountered before. There's ones that are totally different. So there's that. But number two, also, you say you're not a creative person. Like, I like the advice that Jerry gave to you. To just like grab like you've obviously like seen movies or read books or whatever. If you're struggling to come up with an idea, just think of something you can think of in pop culture, maybe come up with two ideas and just mash them together, and whatever comes out comes out. Like don't think about it too much, I guess is what I'm getting at. It's easy to kind of get in your head about it and get like wonder whether it's like right. If this is your first game, so like it's not going to be amazing, just get comfortable.
Well, it's going to be a little awkward at first, but
right.
If as you play with everybody, you're going to find yourself getting into the flow of it. That's how George Lucas came up with Star Wars. He took a bunch of different ideas from different areas, he put it together, and that's how he made Star Wars. So if you stick with it for a little while, it's going to get easier, and I do believe that you'll start to enjoy it. I really do.
Yeah, and we're here to help you, so we're going to help you.
True.
Cool.
Yeah, we want to. I want you to have fun just as much as I want to have fun myself. But it's also important. Like not every band is Rush. Not every idea that you come out with is going to be a banger. But like, just like one of the best things that you can do is just come up with something or make a decision, and even if it's goofy, just stick with it. Because sometimes decisions or ideas that you come up with that seem like lame or like they've been done before, like they're a trope or whatever, sometimes they actually come up like they produce results that are very different from what you would expect. They'll surprise you sometimes. So don't write everything off that you come up with kind of right out of the gate. So anyway, not to like sit here and try and lecture you or anything like that,
I
but
appreciate it. Thank you. It's good.
No, but
Good to know.
whatever you come up with will be fine, because life isn't always perfect. Sometimes life is just, it is what it is. You do your best, it'll get better. I mean, when I joined the military, all my friends and family were like, it doesn't really suit you. And I'm like, I don't care. I did it anyway. And, I grew into it. So not everything we're good at naturally. Some things require a little work.
Exactly.
You should have seen me the first time I tried to qualify with a weapon, man. It was not pretty. It was not pretty at all.
Yeah, creativity is a muscle. You flex it, and it'll get stronger. So, don't be too judgmental toward yourself. Give yourself a little bit of grace. And like I said, just throw shit out there, whatever.
And this is probably the hardest and most creative part, is the world building. So once you have a character and you have beliefs, everything will flow from that, and it's not gonna. You won't need to be as creative. You're just
The
gonna
spice will flow,
to,
right?
Yeah.
True that.
Believe it or not, this is how people write books, science fiction, fantasy. This process that we're doing usually happens in the head of one or two people, and they put stuff together, and then they come up with an idea for a story based on characters. But this is how they write the storybooks. And they become movies, like the Marvel movies or the Star Wars movies or whatnot.
Think about this as a TV show, really. That's what the Burning Wheel is. We're creating this drama. That's why we want everything so dramatic. And then you're going to act it out with your characters. And the dice rolling will get your character into trouble. And you're going to use, as you gain in power and in strength, you're going to try to come out of that trouble ahead, and you're going to achieve your goals. And that's going to make the
Can you like really
dramatic
screw up and like die?
You can die in the game. Yep.
So what happens then? Then Jerry and Braden just continue?
You roll up a new character.
Yep.
That's exactly right. You're not out of it. You just take on the new character.
Yep. You know, you were playing Boromir before, and now you're Legolas. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah, but your goal is hopefully to not die. You know,
Yeah.
but we'll
Yeah.
see. I had a
Yeah.
character die recently. I was playing in a Conan-like game, and my character got fucked up.
Was you playing a little too reckless, would you say? Or they were
I was
out to
playing
get you?
very reckless. Yeah.
Okay.
Playing reckless in this game is okay. It's all about telling a great story, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing
rolling
is,
dice.
I mean, yeah, drama like dying in a cool, dramatic way is fun. Like it can be fun, you know, once you embrace that
Yeah.
possibility. I know that's something that I can definitely say is true for pretty much all role-playing games that I've played is like you want your character to have a sense of self-preservation and want to live, but if the opportunity presents itself to like do something badass and die in the process, to like the end of Independence Day, I'm back. That's fucking sick, like so we take those opportunities. It's not always the worst thing in the world to have a character die, especially if the
You can
moment
regenerate, right?
But sometimes you can come close and overcome it. So like I had this character, it was a young girl. She was like 15 years old, and she was playing a Joan of Arc type character, right? And so I was going around the city telling people that I am the hand of God, right? And preaching to people. And the church got wind of me and got pissed off. And they like pulled me in and I was gaining followers. I was doing good. And the church pulled me in. They're like, what the fuck are you doing? You're like a fucking heretic. And I had all this persona saved up, and I was going to tell the church and convince them, no, you don't get it. I really am the hand of God. I'm here to help you in your troubles against this other evil order. I'm here to save the day. And I had to make a roll, and I threw in a bunch of Artha, and I had it all timed out. And you know what? I failed the motherfucking roll. And they said, we are going to burn you at the stake. And luckily, one of the other players came in and said, oh shit, I'm going to try to convince them not to burn her at the stake. And they said, okay, he was successful in his role. They said, okay, we won't burn her at the stake, but we're going to get her to confess that she isn't the hand of God through torture. And then we're going to, what is it called? Expel her from the church.
Excommunicate.
Excommunicate. We're going to excommunicate her. And that's where I left off. So my goal is to convince the church. I'm going to keep trying to convince the church that I am the real deal. I escaped. The other players helped me escape, and there's going to be this contest. I'm going to come back in disguise and win the contest, and then reveal myself and show myself to the church. No, I am the one, the hand of God. So that's another game I'm playing in.
Okay.
Bruce, it might help if it helps. Yeah, Bruce, if it helps at all, you can watch either the current version of Dune or the 1984 version of Dune to get an idea of the landscape. If you think it might help, it might give you some ideas.
It would help.
Because
I mean, I think there was a couple different versions. Like
watch them all.
Yeah, I mean, I have whatever version, probably year 2000 or something.
1984 version.
I'm not sure, but it's not like the really old one. I would say the middle one. It's definitely not the new stuff. Haven't seen the new ones yet. I don't know if they're out on DVD yet or not.
I think there was a TV show in the early 2000s.
There was, and that TV show is so well done. It's actually my favorite take on Dune.
The thing about it is, whatever version you walk, there are many honorable men, many honorable nobles. There's Gurney Halleck, there's Duncan Idaho. There are warriors. They're good men. They're honest. They're true. But they live in a world of treachery and politics. So they have to be very careful. They're very open about their intentions. They're fantastic warriors, but they have to be careful about treachery. They have to be careful about their friends and their enemies and who's who. So if you want to go back and look at any version of Dune and look at those characters, Gurney Halleck and Duncan Idaho, they're both nobles, they're both fighters, they're both honorable men.
Yeah, I
they
remember
could give you some ideas if you want.
Got it.
All right, guys,
Good
I will
deal.
stop the recording.